Chassidic gems on Parshas Tazria. It says in the pasuk that after a woman, Isha ki Tazria v'yolda zocha, if a woman conceives and bears a male child, etc., and the Torah says, B'chol kodesh leisiga, she shall not touch anything that's hallowed, anything that's kodesh. Rashi says, L'rabbi sasat truma, this includes truma. She's not allowed to touch kodesh things. That's this simple. The Chassidic Torah are telling us that be very careful that the kedusha, your holy things, when you daven, when you learn, should not become pogum, should not be through ulterior motives. Lo yisiga, you should have no negia, you should have no bias. When you serve Hashem, it should be to serve Hashem, not for your own bias, not for your own convenience, not because you're going to get something out of it. No negias. I think this is a Chassidic classic. The simple pshat is they shouldn't touch. The woman shouldn't touch holy things, holy truma. No, it's talking about, yes, but it's also talking about that when you serve Hashem, the holiness that you have, when you daven, when you learn, it should be totally, purely for the sake of serving Hashem, not because you have any negias, any bias that you gain something from it. Continuing with Chassidic gems on Parshas Tazria. It says in the pasuk, Adam ki yeh be'er b'sorei se'es. If a person has on the skin of his flesh a rising spot there, rising, like a blotch or a scab, and it's suspected maybe he has a negatzaras, maybe he has a plague of leprosy, then he has to be brought to the kohen. That's the simple. The Chassidic Torah are telling us, Adam ki yeh be'er b'sorei se'es, they're taking out the two words b'sorei se'es, and they're dealing with b'sorei se'es, which means if somebody is involved, he's immersed in b'sorei. If somebody is immersed in flesh meaning committing sins with his flesh, if somebody is immersed in that, with that temptation, then you know what's going to happen to him. Besides everything else, he's going to stumble into gaiva. Se'es has another translation. Besides meaning the scab, se'es means lifting, rising. He's going to, his midos are going to rise, and he's going to say, I'm the greatest, which is a terrible sin. B'sorei, if he's involved with b'sorei, it's going to come out to be that he has gaiva. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu dislikes very much the Bal Gaivanik. We should be zeicha to keep our humility at all times. Continuing with Chassidic gems on Parshas Tazria, the pasuk says that U'michyas bosar chai base'es, in this rising of the skin, this scab that he has, this blotch that he has, there is part of the in the se'es, in the rising part, there's good, healthy, raw skin in that se'es. in that lifted skin. So the Torah says that it's a negat saras. That's a plague of leprosy. Even if it's good, healthy skin, in the says, it's still a sign of leprosy. That's the simple. The Chassidic Torah take out and emphasize chai baseis. It says in the pasuk, "Bosa chai baseis." There's live flesh, good flesh in the scab, in the rising part. But they're taking out and emphasizing chai baseis, saying that even if the person is involved in Torah and Tefillah with enthusiasm, chai, he's alive. When it comes to Torah and Tefillah, he's alive. But if there is in his avodah, in his service to Hashem, there's mixed in his thought, se'eis, gaiva, he's sitting and learning, he's davening, but he's the greatest big shot in the world. That's a negat saras. That's no good. That's unacceptable. When we learn and daven, it's only because Hashem wants us to do it. We're doing it not because we want to gain anything out of it, any respect, anything out of it. We're just doing it for Hashem. But if while he's doing his chayim, his chiyus, with Torah and Tefillah, he says, "Oh, I'm the greatest," then that's a negat saras. That's unacceptable. Continuing with Chassidic gems, Chassidic Sheterlach on Parshas Tazria, the same pasuk, Bosa chai baseis. There is good, healthy skin in the rising, in the blotch, in the blotch that he has. That's the simple. Rashi explains this to mean that it appears to be healthy on the outside, and under it, it's full of pus. It's only bosachai, only on the outside. Bria l'mayla v'sachteo m'leila lecha. It's healthy outside, on the outside, and underneath it's full of pus, and that is a negat saras. Again, that's the simple. The Chassidic Torah are telling us here, if somebody's external is healthy, he's a tzaddik, look at him. Externally he's a tzaddik, but if internally all the pus that he has, all the no good things and midas rois that he has is underneath, that person is tummy. You have to be a yid toichei kabarei. His outside and his inside should be genuine, should be the same. But if outside he's a gentleman and inside he's a person that hates and has all kind of midas rois, that person is tomei. It's unacceptable. We'd like to make a little sikum on the things that we mentioned. We mentioned that when we serve Hashem, we should have no ulterior motives, no negias, no biases, only to serve Hashem. We learned that if somebody is immersed in flesh temptations, that's all he wants, that person will come, doing that besides the Aveira that it is, it will bring him to Gaiva. Se'es will come out of it. Gaiva will come out of it. We also learned that even if a person is involved in Torah and mitzvahs with enthusiasm, with life, But if he has gaiva mixed in that, then it's only a negatzaras. I'm the best learner, I'm the best davener. He davens with all his heart and soul, full of enthusiasm. But he has thoughts that he is the greatest, he's a Baal Gaiva. That person is Tomei. That person is a negatzaras. We got to get the Gaiva out of our system. We're humble, we have to be humble, and that's what Hashem wants. We also learned that if somebody externally seems to be a fine Yid, a good Yid, and internally he's full of pus, he's full of midos rois, that person is Tomei. We should be zeicha to do all these right things, all these good things that the Chassidic Torah bring out from these psukim. Amen v'yamen.